They teach it in our schools and present it in our media. It's like it has a life of its own. It's right here it's right here in our backyard. It's in every single state. It's in every single city across the United States. And while the world burns and the country descends into chaos, the elites put a guy on the cover of Playboy and tell us that gender isn't real. They tell us our biology makes us evil. They piss on us and tell us it's raining. I want you to take a look at this article from Breitbart.com so you know I'm not BSing you. There it is. Playboy celebrates first ever male cover model, Bretman Rock. Quote, a huge deal for the LGBT community. All right, let's read this. Playboy has put a male bunny on its latest cover. It's funny. I couldn't even think of anything to say. I just had to go right into let's read this because it's just so ridiculously unnecessary that it blanks the slate in my mind and it just makes me speechless. Let's read this. Playboy has put a male bunny on its latest cover, making Filipino-born beauty influencer Bretman Rock its October digital cover model. Folks, this doesn't even look like a woman. If you're listening and you're just tuning in, we're talking about Playboy celebrating its first ever cover model. It's a male cover model. And I want to describe to you, this is a Filipino guy, all right? A small-boned yet muscular statured tan gentleman, all right? Even with all of the makeup, it still looks like a dude. It's a tattooed dude wearing a bunny costume with his butt hanging out and his torn nylons on, giving you the magnum from that movie. What is that? Zoolander, right? The magnum. He's giving you that duck lip look that all the Instagram models like to give. I don't know what has gone wrong in this country. All right. But this woke nonsense has got to stop. And I wanted to bring you this story. I wanted to bring you all of these stories to paint the picture that this show is going to paint this week. All right. That this woke world has taken over. And meanwhile, everything in the background, the stuff that you're not seeing, is falling apart. It's completely falling apart. Let's keep reading, guys. The once iconic magazine is celebrating Bretman Rock's cover spot as a milestone for the LGBT community. The photo and accompanying video showing Rock posing in Playboy's traditional bunny costume, complete with high heels, rabbit ears, and a bushy tail. Really quick, let me ask you a question, because I know Playboy, it's not the most explicit. It's not a hustler, right? It's not going for the colonoscopy, all right? It tries to be tasteful, as they call it. So is this guy here, all right, and that's what he is. He's a guy. Is he going to just stand there topless? Here's my guy nipples, or is he going to show part of his anatomy? Is there going to be part of his male anatomy on there with the goal of selling it to young men as natural and normal? I'm curious, but not curious enough to go take a look. I never want to take a look. Quote, for Playboy to have a male on the cover is a huge deal for the LGBT community. For my brown people community, it's just so surreal, Rock said. A total in this even effing, is this even effing happening right now type of vibe. And I'm so pretty. That's what he said. He said, it's Bretman, bitch. Copying Britney Spears. Rock, 23, currently stars in his own MTV reality show that streams on YouTube. So while they censor my content on YouTube, this guy right here, he gets his own MTV show. He also appeared in the YouTube original series 30 Days with Bretman Rock, which followed him and his friends on their adventures in the wilderness. Lovely. The beauty influencer has amassed millions of social media followers for his styling and makeup tips, as well as his workouts and interactions with family members. See, that's what gets millions of hits on social media, folks. Not God, not guns, not liberty, not family, not fundamentals. Nope. Bretman Rock and his maximum mandatory, magnificent makeup tips. Amazing, folks. Absolutely amazing. Playboy, which has always been left-wing, of course, in terms of politics and social issues, has grown increasingly woke since the late founder Hugh Hefner stepped down from the company. The magazine announced its first transgender playmate in 2017, putting male-to-female French model Ines Rao on its centerfold spread. I forgot all about it, and I hoped that was the last time they did it, but no. Now this is all normalized. Now this is a part of our life. Being a normal, married, heterosexual male or female is bad in 2021 United States of America. The year before, a Muslim journalist became the first woman to pose in a hijab for the magazine. Playboy shut down its print edition last year, probably because of the 2017 article, at the height of the coronavirus pandemic after nearly 7 decades as the country's premier adult magazine for men. The company still publishes online with the occasional print product. So tell me, how is that not brainwashing our kids? Do you read Playboy? I'm a 36-year-old man. I don't need Playboy. I don't read Playboy. But you know who's interested in Playboy? Young people, at least, were interested in Playboy when I was young. So I'm going to assume that young people today who may be inexperienced as where to go, maybe to find material for their urges, maybe, just maybe they seek out Playboy due to its reputation, due to its popularity. 70 years, it's a long time. So maybe they get exposed to this kind of material against their will, right? You say, well, they purchased the digital publication. They went and took a look. Well, they were looking for one thing and they found another. That wasn't what they were looking for. That's not what the reputation of Playboy is selling. That's not the product that they are trying to purchase. They say it's a huge victory for the LGBT community, but I find this to be very malicious. The LGBT community, they once wanted to be equal and just do their own thing, but now they want LGBT ideology to be the law of the land and all beliefs and science to be stricken from the land. I don't think this is the entire LGBT community. Let me make myself clear. But here's what I believe. What I believe is that a Marxist, militant segment of the LGBT community, controlled by woke progressive elites, has taken over the LGBT agenda and is now pushing it as hard as they can. The elites hit our kids from every angle, and it almost feels impossible to fight.